Hi, my name is Jim Falgout. I'm the Chief Technologist of the DataRush group at Pervasive. So my job is to help the DataRush group as we look kind of strategically for it, what technologies we're going to tackle, where do we go with DataRush, what places do we apply it, how do we apply that technology, basically anything having to do with the kind of technical direction of DataRush. So DataRush is a platform for taking advantage of Multicore. So Multicore has been around for a few years now. We really haven't fully utilized it. If you look at the marketplace and how Multicore is being used, a lot of the answer there is virtualization. But virtualization is really just kind of hiding the problem, so to speak. If you want to attack big data problems, if you really want to be able to crunch the amount of data that you have today to get very valuable information out of that data, you have to take advantage of Multicore. If you look at the way Google has attacked the problem, they go after it with thousands of nodes within a cluster, maybe even tens of thousands of nodes within a cluster. But that's not really an answer that every company can take advantage of. But thankfully, with AMD and Intel and IBM, with their multi-core processors, you have basically a cluster in a box, so to speak. But you have to have the software that can take advantage of it. And that's what DataRush is all about. So we really focus on very data-intensive types of applications, places where you need to pre-process lots of data, prepare it for analytics, and then run those analytics on it. And the data sizes are ever increasing. The complexity of the processing you want to do is ever increasing, and you want to get it done faster. DataRush married together, the right software like DataRush married together with multi-core hardware can do really amazing things. Well, there were three main areas that we focused on. The first was taking DataRush distributed. So we started off with the idea more of scale up before you scale out. And by scale up, what we mean is, again, to take advantage of all the capabilities of multi-core. So you fully utilize your machines. The idea with scaling out is to be able to take advantage of multiple machines at a time to solve the same problem. So if you have a problem that's just too big for a single machine, with DataRush 5, with our distributed DataRush capabilities, you can now attack that problem with multiple machines. And we have some benchmarks that we've been working on that are just fabulous. So we use this milestone benchmark, which is available from the Open Cloud Computing Consortium. And this milestone, it's kind of a cybersecurity type of benchmark. It works with a terabyte of data. We've been able to run that in less than a half an hour on a single machine. 32-core machine, basic machine you can get from Intel or with Intel processors. Commodity hardware, right? That's very important. We focus on commodity hardware. But with DataRush 5, you can now take that, and we actually ran it on an Amazon cloud using their high-performance computing instances, 10-node cluster, and it ran in about 10 minutes. So again, kind of showing that with distributed computing, you can now attack multi-terabyte size jobs with a very powerful software like DataRush and do it in a very short amount of time. So the second major feature that we have released with DataRush 5 is integration with Hadoop. Hadoop is a very popular open source distributed system for doing parallel processing. Its main focus is on scale out, but we also support running inside of Hadoop. So within your parts of a MapReduce job, within the reduction part, you can actually run DataRush in streaming mode. And so that allows you to take advantage of all the scalability of DataRush at the lower level, on the node level, but also take advantage of the scheduling and the ease of use of Hadoop from the sense of working with hundreds of nodes within a cluster. And so if you already have MapReduce running, you already have Hadoop running, we can actually just slide DataRush in, run it within the map and reduce parts of your job, and actually show very good scalability. We ran the milestone test using DataRush in streaming mode on a 10-node cluster, and using a half a terabyte of data, we were able to run that benchmark in just over 30 minutes. The same benchmark running on that 10-node cluster, just using normal MapReduce types of functionality, took about 2.5 hours. So we're showing about a 4 to 5x increase in speed just by introducing DataRush into Hadoop. But we also interface with the Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS. And so if you already have data on HDFS, you can access that data directly with DataRush. The third thing that we really focused on with DataRush 5 is other languages. So any language that exists on the JVM today, you can interface all of the Java APIs with DataRush, or you can access all of the DataRush 5 APIs. And so that would be JRuby, Jython, Scala, Groovy, Clojure, any of those languages that exist on the JVM today. we have ways of interfacing those with DataRush. So if you're a Python user, you like to use Python, you want to continue using Python, you can access all of the scalability, all the goodness of DataRush from that language. So DataRush is really focused on big data problems. If you have a problem where you have ever-increasing amounts of data that you need to process, you need to prepare that data before it goes into your data store, whether that be a data warehouse or maybe HDFS or some other NoSQL type of data store. You have profiling needs, maybe fuzzy matching type of data cleansing needs. If you wanted to be able to do cleansing of that data, DataRush is really focused on that. It helps you get through heavy loads, large amounts of data, and get it prepared and get it ready for your use. Because we know that garbage in, garbage out, right? So your data has to be in good enough shape that it's ready for you to use, it's ready for you to run analytics on. Once the data has been cleansed and it's been prepared, the other thing DataRush can really help you do is analytics. So we allow you to analyze your data, to run data mining type algorithms very quickly, using large amounts of data, and turn around your models very fast. And that's really important, especially in this consumer-based environment that we have today. If you're doing data modeling with consumer-based behavior, that changes constantly. And so you can't just build a model and use it for a few months. You may have to build it weekly, you may have to build it daily, you may even want to build it hourly. You need software like DataRush that can really crunch through large amounts of data very quickly to provide you those answers that you need. But DataRush is really also very easy to use. So that's one thing that we focus on, is design time performance as well as runtime performance. So we have APIs, again, for you to use to take advantage of DataRush. They're very easy to learn. It takes all the intricacies of parallel programming and makes it easy to use, kind of abstracts away the really hard things. And so that you can focus on what makes your company money, right? So where your real value is. We also have a graphical user environment that you can use. It's drag and drop. It's very simple to build very complex workflows using that. And again, you don't have to be a top level programmer, a parallel programmer, multi-threaded programmer to take advantage of it. Oh, so there are so many uses for it. It's a very broad type of technology. It's great for doing things like searching through log files, or if you want to process huge amounts of log files. You have web logs, you have email logs, logs that are coming from your application. Within telecom, switches generate just tons of log data that needs to be processed through. DataRush is great for that, and it's extremely flexible, so it's very easy for you to write those types of applications. Other areas where it's been applied are processing claims from like healthcare payments. Again, there's where you have millions and millions of transactions that you need to process through. Other areas are any kind of analytics. So we provide our own analytics, but you may even want to write your own. If you have some algorithm you want to implement, it's very extensible. We have a recommender system also that could be plugged into, let's say, like your web application. The reason you may want to do that is to be able to recommend products to people. As they look at one product, you would be able to use DataRush to use the recommender system within DataRush to help you recommend other products that they may be interested in buying. You can go to pervasivedatrush.com. We have a free trial that you can download. You can try it out for a trial period. We also have professional services that do training. They do on-site types of consulting. They can come in and help you maybe architect and design an implementation. We've also done implementation for customers, and this is kind of a good way to get them into using DataRush, because we come in and help them architect their first solution, help them implement it. They kind of get to see best practices of using DataRush and see some examples, and then hand the code over to them, and then they're ready to go.